Its rawness, the despair, the awe-inspiring beauty, the pride of the people, and the never-ceasing hope against all odds. There's a quote from Theodore Rothke that says, "In a dark time, the eye begins to see." That is so true, and Haiti had me hooked. This is where I first learned the term economic orphan, where I learned that there are many children in orphanages in Haiti that have families, as Gretchen touched on, but the families simply have no means to provide for the children. I felt really confused at the disconnect. I felt that I was hearing so much the call of the orphan and that we needed to go help them, but then when I got to Haiti, I felt confused that we weren't working to support the mother and families of those children. I felt confused at the amount of money I was seeing being poured into programs to feed and give away donated belongings, but the majority of people I was meeting just wanted jobs. This truly tore my heart up. I had this inner battle of figuring out my place in a world of such need. Yes, bellies need to be fed and people need to be clothed, but even more so I felt they deserve to be given the chance to provide for themselves. They deserve to be given dignity. Why was there such a disconnect? And what was my part supposed to be in all of this? This is where my passion was ignited at the possibilities of using fashion for good, of using design as a means to create jobs and in turn keep families together. I read a quote once that said, "When the soul wishes to experience something, she throws an image of the experience out before her and enters into her own image." That is exactly what my experience has been. God speaks to us through the tug of our heart, through inspiration, through the painful longing we feel of something more. It's almost more painful to not walk in the tug of our heart that God gives us. I spent the rest of my free time in college traveling to Haiti and working with Fabian for a women's sewing program that eventually turned into what we have today. My husband and I got married in 2012 after graduating and moved to Haiti 3 weeks later. Today we have over 75 people working in-house between our jewelry making, leather working, and sewing teams. We have 5 branches that are a part of our artisan incubator program. It kind of turned into a point in the beginning. I was so stressed of trying to create as many jobs as possible, and then I saw we're going to beat ourselves into the ground. We need to be raising up leaders. Strong business leaders in Haiti that are doing it ethically. So what we're doing has evolved into this thing of raising up leaders in-house and through our artisan incubator program. And I'm blown away of where in this 4.5 years we've been brought. Before Haiti was even on my radar, there was a longing that I felt, a longing that I could not articulate at the time, but that I believe many of us in this room have felt. I realize now it was a longing for connection. For many, the fashion industry seems to be a shallow place. But to me, fashion was artistic expression. I loved the sisterhood bond I felt at my first retail job when I would style someone and see them light up in this new self-confidence when they found the right fit or the right accessory that made them feel really good. Our clothing, accessories, and material belongings are all fleeting things, yes. They are not our sole identity or where we should find our worth. However, I am a firm believer that what we choose to eat, to clothe our bodies in, and purchase, they are a reflection of who we are and what we stand for. They are an extension of our values and our unique personalities. I think for many of us, 2016 was a rough year. In my lows of last year, I kept going back to this place of being reminded the importance of mindful living. I want this to be my focus and the focus of Haiti Design Co-op in 2017. When you choose to be mindful in your consumption, in what you wear and what you buy, you honor the process and the maker. And at the end of the day, you get the gift of finding gratitude in your heart. I am a firm believer that when we honor the maker of what we purchase, we are ultimately honoring our own creator. We find gratitude in our hearts for the people, environment, and the processes behind our belongings, and we find that we're actually all connected. We need each other. You and I, you and the weaver in Guatemala, myself and the poor single mother in Haiti, we aren't so different. And our choices do affect each other. This, friends, has been my problem with the fashion industry. There is a huge disconnect between the creator and the customer. Fast fashion has taught us to crave discounts and treat our belongings as disposable things, with no regard to the people behind the product. And this is just a side note. If you haven't already, I highly recommend everyone watch the documentary, The True Cost. It's on Netflix, and this is gonna be a great source to further educate you on this movement that you're a part of, and also educate your customers, which is a really exciting platform that you have as educators on ethical fashion. I was seeing at the time 2 huge areas of disconnect that were tugging at my heart. One was between the methods of traditional aid, yet the actual need that I was seeing for long-term development in Haiti. The other was in the fashion industry between the customer and the maker. This is why Haiti Design Co-op was founded. We exist to not only provide for the mother that was not able to provide for her child, to not only create bags and accessories that we're proud of, but to build a bridge between the maker and the customer, to connect us all. This is where your amazing team at Traits of Hope is paving the way. You, friends, are the vital link to connect customers with their brothers and sisters across the globe. You are trailblazers in a movement that is changing the fashion industry. You are a part of a business that decided to put people first. You should each be so proud of the leap of faith you took to join this journey and know you are the most important piece to keep moving it forward. You share our story. You educate the customer on the importance of ethical fashion. You show the customer their purchase has great power and teach them to put people first as well. You allow us to work together to be the change we want to see. I know for many of us, myself included, we can get overwhelmed by the problems of the world and feel what we're doing is not enough. This year, I urge you to not listen to those lies. Start with where you are today, in your home and in your community. Look around this room at the beautiful family that's been built and continues to grow. Every single bit you do makes a difference. Don't get overwhelmed by the problems you cannot solve, but focus your energy on what you can do. Keep selling product and keep sharing our story. I thank you for your continual support. My sisters, let's keep going onward and upward.